watching Movie Guide. I'm Evie Barron. We're at the red carpet premiere of Saving Mr. Banks on the Walt Disney Studio lot with Emma Thompson and Tom Hanks. Let's see what the cast and crew have to say. As a child, who were you kind of influenced by? Did your father influence you?
Mostly, actually, funny enough, my grandfather, who was the most, I guess, entrepreneurial in my family, and it was my parents that gave me the privilege to be able to act on it, to go and study, come out of the Netherlands, go to England, and ultimately end up doing things also here in the States, which is a privilege.
Yeah.
But I'm motivated by telling stories that move people. I mean, that is what cinema can do, probably better than any other art form.
Yeah. Did you have anything in your life as a child that influenced you?
Look, not really, except for, when I started this, just before the documentary, I'd seen Mary Poppins again with my own daughter, Alice. She's now 16 and she was about 6 at the time, and she played the young Pamela in our documentary version, which was the springboard for later doing the feature. So that gave it obviously a similar tie, because I'm a parent. I'm still trying to work out how to be a good parent. It's still the challenge, between work and life, work and family. It's a battle we fight all the time, and I think again that's what a lot of those books are about, because Mr. Banks is so caught up with work that he forgets he has children, and it's Mary Poppins who brings them together, and thematically that's probably even stronger today.
About this coming back?
I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they find a movie about Walt himself.
Yeah. And how was your experience with him? Tell us about it.
Wonderful.
We need some inside knowledge.
Oh yeah, with nobody. I don't think ever had a problem with that movie. We all look forward to coming to work every day because it was just that we were all excited about it.
Yeah. What do you think made it have a lot of heart?
Well, Walt's influence, of course, and I think the Sherman Brothers, the songs. Such a great score. The kind of songs that you can walk out and you remember. Everybody still remembers those songs.
Yeah.
Great team.
Emily, and a lot about fatherhood, too.
I know, right?
And the influence fathers have on their children.
You're the first person who's brought this up in this long line of all these questions I've answered. You're the first person who's mentioned that.
Really?
And that's absolutely a very important part of this movie is fatherhood.
Well, I think both of them kind of show Travers is basically very influenced, but Disney's also influenced as a father.
Exactly, and probably was influenced by his own father, but he made a promise to his daughters. I was there when they shot that scene about this promise that he made to his daughters, that he would make a movie out of this, and he was bound by that, and it's the thing that drove him. That's a very good question.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Now, this movie is a lot about fatherhood. Did your father shape you in any sort of influential way?
That's so sweet. Yeah, my father was so special. He was such a good man, and that's what he was funny, and he cared so deeply for his children and in his grandchildren, and I really have patterned my whole life about that. It's really great. And I think what's so nice in this film too is it's about Walt Disney, who's one of the most important people in my life, because I chose my life works because of the films he's made. And Tom Hanks does the greatest job. There's no other person in the world that could make that. Could play that part. And Tom Hanks did a great job.
And it definitely shows that he wants to provide hope and joy for kids. Do you feel like you strive for that also?
Well, I at Pixar and at Disney, everybody I work with is doing what they do because of Walt Disney and what the kind of entertainment he gave us, and we want to give that to the world and continue that on. So we're really honored to follow in his footsteps.
You've done a great job. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was so influenced by my father and so influenced by my mother, and we all are. And parents offer children context, and vice versa. Children give their parents context as well. So, with that in mind, I think the things that take place in our early years are things that we carry for the rest of our lives, and that's more what the film to me is about, rather than the creative process of bringing this to the screen and how volatile it was. It's really more about the relationship between parents and their children, and how we carry all those things for the rest of our lives that we saw and that we heard and that we felt. And thanks. Cool.
Because I think with Walt Disney and with her and with some very wounded people. They create something inside them that's designed to sort of, it's not even conscious, but it's a way of healing something, some terrible canyon of a wound that was opened when they were very little. And I think that she, as a child, was deracinated many times by her father's alcoholism and her mother's attempted suicide, and she never managed to make the ground under her feet feel steady. And Mary Poppins was a way of soothing herself, in the same way as Mickey Mouse was a way of Walter soothing himself.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to look at the whole review of Saving Mr. Banks at movieguide.org.